Thank you so much. I'm Chris Bongiorno. I'm the board president of Yellow Springs Home Inc. And it's my pleasure to welcome you. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our annual meeting at the Yellow Springs Brewery's Barrel Room. And I want to take a moment to thank our hosts and our bartenders. Yellow Springs Brewery, thank you. We're going to start with a little bit of housekeeping. If you just got here and you don't know where things are yet, we've got free water in cups in the back by the restrooms. Obviously, restrooms are back there too. We have a cash bar. We have food over here to my right, your left, generously brought to us by the nonprofit Emerge and their Rise Cafe in Xenia. And Sean, if you wanted to come up and say a few words about Emerge and Arise, we'd be happy to share the mic with you.
So my name is Sean Craig. I'm the owner of Arise Cafe in just outside of town here in Xenia. We're housed inside of the Emerge facility. I don't know if you guys know what that is. The Emerge facility is in the old Green County Career Center. To tell you about Arise Cafe, I just want to first say I'm very grateful to be here today. I'm grateful to Home Inc. for giving us this opportunity to come out, share our food with you, and tell you a little bit about the mission and our story. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Arise Cafe, Emerge itself, and then I want to introduce you to one of my associates, Chef Anthony, who has been with me for a while now and does a great job. To tell you about it, I have to tell you a little bit about the message before I get into the miracle of this message. Some of you guys know who I am. I used to be here in town. Very publicly part of the restaurant business community. I served on the Yellow Springs Chamber of Commerce for a while. I was general manager of Coastal Grill Smokehouse over here. Very heavily involved. And that was until December of 2022 when I had an alcohol-free vital which led me, thankfully, safely, because of quick action of the Yellow Springs Police Department and Chief Gage Burris to recovery and treatment. Thank God for that, because I wouldn't be here today if that happened. Through that recovery, through that treatment, I was able to be properly diagnosed, medicated, and on the right path to treatment, where I can finally have a little bit of peace and happiness in my life. The reason I tell that story is because I am now, through the connections that I made in the recovery community and the treatment community, I was able to become owner of the Rise Cafe. The opportunity presented itself to me. I took it, jumped right on top of it. It has given me the opportunity to give back what has been so freely given to me, which is recovery. So, at Arise Cafe, what we are is we're a restaurant. We do kind of a elevated gourmet comfort food and also catering. What my mission is to provide the community with great food while utilizing gentlemen and ladies in recovery. The people that work for me right now all have come from Emerge. And Emerge is a recovery trade initiative. I'll get to that in just a second. So I took over ownership in February, and Anthony, who I'm about to introduce you to, has graduated the program. He is now the chef of the Rise Cafe and has done a great job. So the Emerge Trade Initiative is basically, the Emerge facility is a cooperative of for-profit, non-profit, community initiative, and clinical services that cater to the recovery and mental health community. And so we're all kind of housed under this one roof. helping each other, being cooperative towards helping people in recovery get the resources that they need. And also, second chance employers to be able to make sure that people have a second chance to get some confidence back, get their lives back together. And that's where I would like to introduce Anthony, our chef of Arise Cafe.
Hey, how's everybody? Hello. Like you said, I'm Chef Anthony, and I'm representing the merge. And I met China probably 4 or 5 months ago, maybe 6 months. I was going through the program.
You gotta speak in the mic.
When I was going through the program, sorry about that. Now, I've been a chef for over like 39 years. I met China, and we got together. He gave me a second chance. He gave me a chance to do what I love to do and do it soberly. Merge showed me another way to live. Being a chef and being in restaurants all the time. Got to do way too much, doing things I shouldn't be doing. Now I'm here to feed y'all and do the things I love to do without having to worry about drinking or being around a lot of alcohol. It's a really great place. So I really hope that come to Arise and come check us out. We have really great food. So I'm really about myself and really not really big on speaking, but I'm a really great chef. So come check it out.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Anthony. We really appreciate the partnership, and I think we can all probably appreciate stories of recovery and all the work that it takes to get there. So thank you again, and I think it's also a testament to the value of partnerships and those collaborative relationships that we in the community and the nonprofit sector really depend on to make things work, to deliver on our mission. So again, thank you so much. Last housekeeping item before we get into a program, we do have a 50-50 raffle, and that will be going on throughout the evening. And we have a raffle for a gift certificate to Mazu Cafe in downtown Yellow Springs. So if you want more information on that, talk to Alex over here at the front table. So, as always, those of you who've been to many of these annual meetings, we have a great agenda for you. We have a lot of exciting updates to share and a year of amazing achievements that we want to tell you about. We've been doing this for 25 years now. And as that has been the case for a quarter century, Home Inc. has been empowered to do the work of strengthening community and diversity in Yellow Springs and Miami Township by building permanently affordable and sustainable housing through our community land trust. And the only way we can do that is with the support of our community partners and our community members like you, who enable the board on a small level and the staff on a huge level to deliver the programs, the services, and the projects that really make a difference and an impact in this community. So just take a moment really quick and thank you to all of you, and thank you to the staff and the board, everybody here tonight has a role in this. So thank you. I would now like to call to Mike, a longtime friend of the organization, Marianne McQueen, who's going to tell you a little bit about the Tour of the Gem. Some of you may be familiar with that. Woo-hoo!
So I was looking around the room and I was noticing how different it looks than 25 years ago. I think I'm one of 3 people in this room who were founding board members of the Tebbets, who actually was the impetus for this organization. Sitting right there. Susan Stiles. you get to see things happen. And you get to see things you didn't like happen and things you did like happen. And you get to see the people moving onto the stage and off of the stage. So there are a lot of people who helped form Home Inc. who are not on the stage anymore. Tony Bennett, Wally Sykes, Sue Klauser, whose idea this originally was, which I just found out from Nelson. At any rate, so I've been involved in Home Inc. for a long time, and now I get to do something really fun. Well, you're not going to be able to see this, but I love biking. I love cycling, and one of my very dearest friends, Moya Shea, who lived in a Home Inc. house for 19 years, I think, was able to live in a Home Inc. house because of Home Inc. And she loved cycling. And Vicki Hennessy, who's here, and I, and our friend Pat Louise, all biked together. Pat isn't here right now. Anyway, so I am the team captain of Team Home Inc. on the Tour de Gem, or GEM, GEM for the Gem City in Dayton, tour, which is Saturday. And it's a fundraising event. Apparently, according to Chris, we are the biggest fundraiser, maybe? Or second biggest. Well, I don't know. Our goal, our team goal was 10 people. We have 12. Our financial goal was $5,000. I think we have pledged, including money we received and pledged, about $4,200, I think. So, hopefully, and you can donate until the end of September, but we're not supposed to be, we're not supposed to be trying to get money from you all tonight. I'm just telling you about it. Anyway, so we're meeting in Dayton on Saturday, and it's not a race, and people can bike as far as they want to, and it's family friendly, and we have people like Chris who will probably do it in 3 hours, I guess. People like me who will do it in 5, and everywhere in between. And I would like to invite everyone else on the team to come up, and so that you can see who is part of our team. So we're a team now of we're 13 strong. And wish us luck, and we do a great job.
Thank you, Mary, and thank you to everybody on the team and everybody who's donated to Team Home Inc. This is definitely the most we've ever raised and the most team members we've ever had, so it's great. And I should give a shout out. Chris Hall is the one who brought this to our attention 2 years ago. It was our original team captain. So Chris Hall, everybody. This next part is a lot of fun. Every year, those of you who know that we give an award in honor and named after one of the original founding members of the organization, Tony Bent. It's called the Tony Bent Award. Raise your hand if you've received the Tony Bent Award. I know there's a few of you out there. Susan, Elsa, yeah. So this award is given in commemoration of the hard work and dedication these individuals have made to the community and in particular to Home Inc. So this year, this award has been a long time coming. And this individual, I'm going to use an adjective that Emily likes to use when describing herself when she's talking about the senior housing that we've been working on. This individual has been unflagging in their efforts to promote affordability and the community land trust model in Yellow Springs. She's been there since the earliest days of the organization, has been in our ears, she's been on our Zoom meetings, in our inboxes, texts, and voicemails. She's been at the dais reminding us about the urgency and the importance of the work that we're doing. The only reason she's just now receiving this award is that we've been waiting for her to retire from public office. And I'm not going to say anything more than let Emily take over from there.
So it is really our honor for her ongoing dedication to affordable housing with Yellow Springs Home Inc. and in the village of Yellow Springs. We gratefully honor Mary Ann McQueen as the 2024 recipient of the Tony Bennett Affordable Housing Award. We recognize her leadership and mentorship. You've been a great mentor to me in the advancement of affordable housing in our community and beyond. So we stand on the shoulders of giants.
Thank you very much. What I didn't explain when I said this looks very different than it did 25 years ago. Well, of course, 25 years ago we were all, those of us who are still here, we're 25 years younger. but not young, I would say. So what looks different to me is two things. We have a lot more younger people sitting here than we did 25 years ago. And we have much more racial diversity. In fact, I think we were all white. No, we weren't. Well, okay, but we were mostly white. And it is so wonderful to see the diversity in this room. And I also have to say that, I have said this before, but when Al Schluter and I were interviewing Emily for the assistant director, I almost started crying because I knew I needed to get out of there. It wasn't the thing that I was great at doing. And she and her team have been so great at doing this, and I'm so proud of everything that the staff and the board have been doing. So, thank you.
I remember that interview, and I remember you saying, I just want to be involved with an organization that's doing the right thing. And that really stuck out with me, that you were working very hard to do the right thing, no matter what. So it's been an honor to be part of this.
Normally I wouldn't be speaking so much, but there's a few people missing, and I'll call out Lynn Kramer as our longtime former board president, current governance committee chair, is not here this evening, so I am taking that role and introducing this year's new board candidates. This is one of our business items we need to take care of tonight. So we're going to be bringing on 2 new board members, hopefully, with your approval, and renewing a second term for one of our board members. So let me first introduce Leila Klein, who again is not here this evening. She will be wrapping up her 3rd year of her first term and has agreed to stay on for another, which we're all very thankful for. Leila is a native Daytonian. Her career has been dedicated to fighting for economic justice for working people. She's a co-founder of Co-op Dayton and has served as general counsel to a 45,000 member manufacturing union, and holds a Juris Doctorate from Harvard Law School and a Bachelor of Arts from Cornell University, kind of minor degrees there. Leila recently joined our executive committee as board secretary, and we're planning on elevating her to board vice president this September. Next up is Barbara Stewart, and I believe Barbara goes by Barb, and there's Barb over there, thank you. Barb is a recent transplant to Yellow Springs, but is no stranger to the region, having spent a lot of time in Clark County just up the road. And Barb believes in the value of service to the community and the importance of partnerships and collaboration. Barb has over 25 years of board service to a variety of community and housing organizations and more than 40 years of professional experience in the nonprofit sector. Barb holds bachelor's degrees and master's degrees in organization management from Wittenberg University and Antioch University. And then third, Stephanie Richards. Much like Barb, Stephanie has a wealth of nonprofit experience, both professionally and in volunteer service. Stephanie is the Grants and Operations Coordinator for the Morgan Family Foundation, where she performs a variety of key functions, including organizing the Yellow Springs nonprofit network, so I'm sure many of you here know Stephanie. Stephanie holds a Bachelor of Music degree from Capital University, and she is also a home and homeowner. I will now ask, as Lynn informed me to do, that we vote by acclamation, which was a new term to me when I joined this board. That means enthusiastic applause. Oh, okay. Well, it's loud enough to pass. Okay, thank you. And Stephanie, now, as one of our newest board members, I would like to welcome you to the front to say a few words.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be here today. As he said, I'm Stephanie Richards. I am the mother of two wonderful young women. I am the Grants and Operations Coordinator with the Morgan Family Foundation. I am a homemade homeowner since 2021. As a few moments ago, I'm also one of the newest members of the board. Now, I won't get into my whole backstory, but a few years ago, I found myself in this area where I didn't really know anyone. I needed to find a new job after 7 years as a stay-at-home mom, and I needed to find a new place to live. And Yellow Springs has provided all of that for me. When I was looking for people to meet in the area, I found a community with John Bryan Community Pottery. When I was looking for a job, I found a career with the Morgan Family Foundation. When I was looking for a place to live, I found a home in Home. And my home is more than just the walls and the building. It represents this place that I've carved out for myself in this village that I love so much. It is security, it's stability, and it solidifies that Yellow Springs is the first place that I really feel like I've been at home in my entire life. It means that I can live, work, and play in the same village that means so much to me. Living in Yellow Springs means giving back, so I'm so honored and excited to be giving back to Yellow Springs and to Home Inc. as part of the board. I could go on and on and on and on, but what I really just need to say is thank you.
That was very beautifully said, Stephanie. Thank you. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the board. And now I have a slightly sad but also celebratory part of our agenda where we say goodbye to some of our board members who have dedicated several years to this organization. And to get us started there, I'm going to ask Dr. Kevin Magruder to come to the front and say a few words about our first board member who is Tim.
My friend Linda Cox is leaving the board, and I am sad about that, but I know she will continue to be connected with us. I have known Linda, I think from when you moved back here from California, which was 10 years ago or so. And so we met through another involvement, the Martin Luther King Day organizing committee. Her mother was very active in that, and she brought Linda into it, and now Linda co-chairs that. So that's how that works. And we also co-chair the Juneteenth committee now, so she's got me hands full. But I appreciate her voice. She's been on the board for one term, but each board member brings a different perspective, and so there's a different set of questions they ask that I've been on for a couple terms that, I might not think of. And so it's been refreshing to see what she's been able to bring to the board, and I really appreciate her service. And if you could come up, we have these tokens of our affection. Yellow Springs Homing thanks Linda Cox for 3 years of service on the board of directors and for her cheerful, inquisitive presence in all she did. Thank you.
First, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you to Emily and the rest of the staff for having so much patience with me. Very inquisitive. For somebody who never worked with nonprofits before, they show so much patience and asking just the basic questions. And I appreciate that. I felt welcome. I enjoyed everything they've done, and they do such a great job. So anytime you can support them. And I just want to say again, thank you so much to the staff and the board members. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. You know me. I consider myself a poet, but yet I have to prepare myself for written remarks. I'm a fan of Artie Isaac. From day one, Artie has been so instrumental to the Homing Commission. He's hit the ground willing to help, willing to educate, willing to share ideas, and to challenge preconceived notions, and to encourage everybody to think outside of the box. Artie is a calming, a reassuring presence. He's a great mentor and coach, and overall just a really talented and intelligent person, and I'm so glad to know him. You will always be a part of the Homing family. So we have one of those for you, Artie.
It's beautiful, and it's not, it doesn't have as much praise as Linda's do. You see how crazy the world is, and the scarcity of housing, and the ill affordability of it, and you wonder, what are we doing about it? When I moved here, I thought, what are we doing about it? And Home Inc. is what we're doing about it. It's been my honor and pleasure to serve with Emily and the team, and I want to thank all of you for supporting this organization. Thank you.
All right, so I need a volunteer from the audience. Anyone. All you have to do is stand up here. Okay, Angie and True? No, you can both come up. Okay, somebody come up here.
I'm sitting. You're standing.
Malta. I know you couldn't be here tonight, but I have to tell you that you have invested in me, invested in this organization in really profound ways. And in all sincerity, we really have grown a lot as an organization because of you. So we have also a token of appreciation. Yellow Springs Homing thanks Walta Von Matheson for 6 years of service on the board of directors, for his knowledge, for his conviction, and awesome commitment to the cause. We celebrate you. We have a welcome board treasurer. He is also only a owner, Anthony Fife. Come on down.
Well, 2023 was a great year, and I want to thank all the finance committee members for helping make this so. Give you just a brief snapshot of what our 2023 looked like at home meeting. Current assets, $271,635. Pledges and grants receivable. I don't want to read all this, but I'm patient. Find more thorough finances on the website, and there's actually some financial information in the packet as well. But I will say that we ended strong, and we predicted that we would, but predictions can be deceiving, but not in this case. Our predictions are usually pretty good, and we did very well. So a summary, total revenue, $818,018, expenses, $793,000, and $372 for a net revenue of $24,646. Revenue came in 2023 from grants, rental income, and donations. Top three expenses in 2023 were home repair grants, contractors, program delivery salaries, and property tax and insurance. And a few items here. A record $300,000 was provided in safety, health, energy efficiency, and emergency home repair grants serving 19 homeowners alone. Cascades, phase one, fully funded. $1,469,017 considered by the Ohio Housing and Finance Agency. So that's a big deal for us. That's a big deal in our community. And the 20th anniversary celebration capital campaign goal was met and exceeded. 50,000 plus in donations, which really goes a long, long way in helping financial capacity, staffing, and development programs, and the reserve funds and strategic reserves. In 25 years, homing has grown by leaps and bounds. Mary Ann, you talked about how it looks very different in the room, but it looks very different. It's a constantly growing organization. Even when we're not building something, we are working toward building something, working toward putting people in homes. And 2023 is a textbook case of that. Lots happened. And as we look to the future, we're going to further deal with growth, cash flow, and risk management. We're going to strengthen our financial position, and we're going to tackle our largest project yet, the $10+ million Cascades multi-phase project. And that just broke ground yesterday. Some of you did some general ledger enhancement and financial management capacity as well. So that is the end of my report. Thank you very much.
Okay, here we go. Thank you everybody for being here. I'm Emily Seibel, I'm the Executive Director of Yellow Springs Home Inc. And I really do want to thank everybody for being here today. And I especially, before we get started in the activities report, I would love to just see all of the board members stand. If you could, so we can see who you are, and thank you for your service. I have to just tell you because all of y'all. I apologize if anyone was offended by that. Okay. And then if you're a former board member, so keep standing, board. And then if you're a former board member, if you can stand. Okay. Awesome. If you're a holding client or you're on the way to still standing, please stand. If you have talked with Chris, worked in the program in any way, please take a stand. Okay. Thank you. And if you're a member and a community supporter or a member of our awesome staff, please stand. Or a former member of our staff. Alright, so this is really our celebration and your celebration. So thank you so much for just showing all of the different ways that this mission is strengthening the fabric of our community. So we have a lot to celebrate tonight. It's a good day, a good week for homing. And I just wanted to say that I feel like as we turn 25, that's a really important time for us to reflect. We stand on the shoulders of giants. The first community land trust in the country arose during the Civil Rights Movement. We talk a little bit about that in the introduction to the annual report, but there's also a fabulous documentary about it. It was a means of collective economic empowerment through community land ownership. And here in Yellow Springs, volunteer activists, including some of the folks who are here tonight, Ilsa Tevitz, Susan Stiles, Marianne McQueen, and also, as Marianne said, some folks who are no longer with us, met regularly and they kept meeting month after month after significant and early setbacks. It would have been much easier to give up. But they never gave up on their vision of an inclusive Yellow Springs. They met when there was a window of opportunity. They also met in the face of opposition. Yellow Springs Homing was and continues to be a deeply democratic organization, and we truly do stand on your shoulders. So I wanted to just put up our articles of incorporation. This is like as level as I could get it, and I messed around with it a lot because it was the only copy we have was like scanned in sideways, and it's anyway. So this is our original purpose for existing. We were one of the first 100 community land trusts in the United States. The model also really draws on the work and legacy of Arthur Morgan, local hero. It's another presentation. And we were incorporated by Don Hollister, who is still engaged in civically, the late village council clerk of council, the revered Deborah Benning, who was also a superdelegate for, and that's another story, and then Robert Lurie. And that was at the recommendation of village council to address rising housing prices. And so it was really because of the strength of our community that Homing exists, and we have defied a lot of odds as a small nonprofit in a small town. We really shouldn't exist, and it's because of Yellow Springs that we do. And we believe that housing is a fundamental human right. Our strategy is one of fairness across place. We also believe that power is a verb. Angie helped write this. And that access to power for the historically marginalized is best achieved through solidarity and shared governance. So we are dedicated to making and keeping quality housing affordable in this place, in this space, not just now, but for future generations. And so with this in mind, I'm very happy to share a summary of our accomplishments. And just to put this in perspective, we have 12 to 15 board members, we have 4 staff members, and 2 part-time staff members. And the fact that we're able to achieve all of this really, again, is a testament to the support of the community. Just a little primer, reminder of community land trusts are social justice and democracy in action. I'm not going to go into each of the spheres that they overlap, but each one is really important and is actually really critical to who we are. And we're a developer that doesn't go away. We're completely accountable to the community forever, because that's the whole deal. We're taking land, putting it into a community-governed land trust to benefit the community forever. It's a powerful model, but it also comes with perpetual responsibility to protect those public investments and to protect land so that we're thinking not only about today, but about the future and future generations. To be part of a legacy like that that's going to outlast everybody in this room, myself included, is pretty cool. And this is a map of our impact in Yellow Springs. This is a new map. You haven't seen this before. Thank you, Alex. But it just shows right here in Yellow Springs. And we do some stuff that goes outside of Yellow Springs too. But in Yellow Springs, we've developed 40 forever affordable homes. And then we've also done 30 repair projects and counting. This is outdated because we have 27 this year. So that map will be up. And I also just like to always center our conversations around the most important people and the most important part of the program, which are people. So we have a lot of work to do. These are just photos of some of the folks that are actively in our program, living in home housing, and what some of the things that they do and ways that they strengthen the fabric of our village. So I think given that, I just have to say it's worth noting, we know that Yellow Springs is getting less affordable. I updated the slide and it depressed me, so I didn't include it tonight. This is a celebration, but we know that it's really now more important than ever now to see affordable housing as a real public good. And we have more than 350 households and counting on our housing interest and waiting lists. Here is last year by the numbers. I don't have any notes for this slide, and I refuse to read the slide, so I hope that you read the slide. But some of the records for last year, I think that's the biggest single grant that we've ever secured, over almost 1.5 million. We have more homeowners we have more folks on the wait list than we ever have. We had a really big record year in home repair grants, thanks to Chris Hall, who's right over there. Yay! And we're also doing more career consulting now. We've worked with groups in Washington State and Kansas City, Kansas. We're working with folks in Dayton. We just came back from the Ohio Community Land Trust Conference, where Chris Hall is the treasurer and we're a founding member. So we try to share what we've learned with other places too, which then in turn helps us reinvest in our mission here. Our work would not be possible without philanthropic support. Here is a snapshot of our funders. And we want to thank not only the corporate and foundation funders and governmental funders, but also every single person in this room, because you've either donated, you're a member, you're a volunteer, but you're part of our mission and you've invested in it actively. Just by being here tonight, you're actively investing in our mission. So your generosity truly makes our work possible. And we have a complete list of individual donors on our website. So this is the part that I do every year that I think embarrasses everybody, but we're going to do it. We're going there. So Brittany, I see you behind the camera. Alex Scott. We already talked about our phenomenal board, but Alex, this is Alex. She was works tirelessly day in and day out to create connections in the community. And she leads with her heart, and she does such a great job with grants. We make a really good team, and she's just great. You all know this. And she's been here 3 years, but she's on the board for 5 years before that. I also see Bree. If you'd like to stand up and wave, just wave, okay? Okay, so we gotta stand up, because people are looking around, okay? This is Bree. And she is our emeritus AmeriCorps Vista, but she's helped us a lot with marketing planning. She led a retreat. She's been doing research for us, and she's just really great. And Brittany is behind the camera, shaking her head. Brittany, I really don't think we would be where we're at without you, because she came here from the Wyoming Housing Network, where she had worked on like $20 million worth of tax credit projects, and she really understands state regulations and compliance, and she helps us with those big thorny grants, and then she's been like helping out with property management. So we owe you a debt of gratitude for all of the stuff that you've been doing, and she's humble, but she's brilliant. So celebrating 10 years next year, I believe. So. And Brittany knows, like, she just gives me this look, and I know, oh, I'm out there. I gotta be practical. We're gonna get something done. There's a deadline. We're running late. So anyway, she's holding it down. And then Chris. Actually, wait, I'm not ready to introduce you. Tom McCaffrey isn't here, but he's our AmeriCorps Vista. No, he's our Encore Miller Fellow. And he is doing client-first specialist work, helping to navigate some pretty thorny federal grants related to major home repairs. So we're very grateful to him. And then one of our VIPs this evening is Lori Lotz. She just left? Well, anyway, she is like, she's magical, and she does bookkeeping and office management and rental management and property management, and she gets in there, and there is no challenge that she says no to, and it is awesome to have somebody like that in the office. And now, Mary Evans is going to help me introduce Chris. So, Chris, if you could show people who you are. Okay. Just over 10 years. 11. And I cannot imagine our organization without your leadership. Seriously, you're the real deal, and I think the work speaks for itself. And everybody here who's worked with him understands how professional he is, and responsible and responsive and lovely. So Mary was just telling me this wasn't planned and spontaneous, but that you worked with Chris, which I didn't realize. So
I'm not going to tell the whole story of how I ended up here in Yellow Springs, because it's like a Netflix series. But anyhow, I really appreciate you sharing your story, because it's really vulnerable when you come from vulnerable communities. So I'm a system-impacted individual. I was formerly incarcerated. And one thing I can say about Yellow Springs is I don't know what a second chance is, because people who look like me and come from where I come from, we didn't even know we had a first one. So I believe in like fair chance, fair housing, and fair opportunity. And that's kind of like what Yellow Springs did for me. Like, I got a fair education at Antioch. I got fair employment at WISL. I'm still there. And people were giving me the runaround. And it's really hard to like rent when you have a record. So I picked up the phone and I called Chris, and Chris like made the whole first-time home buyer process really easy for me. Gave me some connections in Dayton. I'm a homeowner now. I've been a homeowner for like 2 years. I was listening to him talk, and he has this really extraordinary and unconventional voice. And I was like, I don't mean to be rude, but I think me and you may have talked on the phone a couple years ago. I was like, I'm Mary Evans, and he like instantly knew who I was. And it's just amazing because I know he talks to thousands of people a day. So for him to like remember me, that like meant a lot. And so thank you, and everybody here's Chris.
I could let the word speak for itself, but anybody who knows me knows I would not let that let it in there. I also got out to speaking at the groundbreaking yesterday, and I was sitting in the office today, and I thought, what is going on here? And then I went, could you talk about a couple of slides? I said, I knew it was coming sooner or later. I'm going to try to stay here and just go through this very quickly. But these are some of the things that we do in the community. The homebuyer education that we partner with, the individualized financial coaching and homebuyer coaching. Mary just spoke with that. I see a lot of people out here that I've talked to a lot. I shared a story with Emily earlier today that piggybacks on a point that I'd like to make. Nobody at Home Inc. comes up to me at the end of a day or a month or a quarter and says, how much money this? How much this? What are the stats for that? What is this? It's just, do we help people reach their housing goals? And I had a client meeting today with somebody down on the Ohio River who got tied up in a land contract and was at a loss about what they were going to do. They talked to legal aid, thought they had some options. I spoke with them, and I think we've got a really solid path forward. That was well over an hour on the phone. Nobody said, hey, we got to keep this moving, we got another call, you got another meeting. The time is here to work with the clients that are willing to put the work in. And that's it. I think that's a really important privilege in the work that we do here, because I know it's not like that everywhere. The low interest mortgages that are packaged in-house, we do that in partnership with the USDA. Does anybody want to take a guess at how many organizations in the state of Ohio have a direct opt-out to work directly with USDA to package that program? Two.
Only Home
Hey, Susan knows. The post-purchase support and foreclosure prevention, I was so happy to see that on the slide. We talk so much about the work that we accomplish that sometimes it's easy to forget the things that don't happen. We've been around 25 years, not a single foreclosure. I like to think Home Inc. staff can take about 3% of the credit for that. The other 97% is the hard work that Stephanie puts in, that David puts in, that the homeowners put in to fully take advantage of these opportunities because they know how much it means. They know how much this community means. And I think we're really proud of that. The rental support service coordination. Should I bring Brittany up here? I know she'd love that. The major home repair grants, I think the next slide has a little bit more information. And I'm sure Alice will talk about all the great work that the Inclusive and Resilient Yellow Springs Coalition and where we're getting that off the ground as made in this community. I saw Emily put this slide together, and I see that David's here today, and it reminded me of something. 11 years, not 10, Emily. But 11 years ago, David, Emily, and Len, who's not here, interviewed me. And I remember thinking, we all have those questions that you're like, I know I'm going to get this asking this in an interview, right? So I knew that question, where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years, was going to come up. So of course I'm thinking, I'm going to say, I want to help more people at a deeper level of service. Oh man, that's good. I'm holding on to that one. And it reminded me of that today when I saw this slide and I saw David and it took me back to that moment. Because you look, 2018, we dipped our toes in a program with the Federal Home Loan Bank, did one grant for $5,000. This year, 27 home repair projects, well over $400,000. And if that money doesn't come here, it goes to Kentucky or Tennessee or somewhere else. I want to challenge everybody here tonight that when we roll these programs out later this year and next year, that you promise to tell at least 2 people, whether they would directly benefit or whether they might know somebody who does, because I'm going to talk about Cheryl here in just a moment.
Wait,
Oh.
there's also a special announcement.
Okay, plus a special announcement.
Oh.
It's going to be surprising to me.
That's what the napkin was for earlier. I was writing on the back. Okay, so we found out it's not official yet, but it is happening. But we scored top 2 in the state for the next round of USDA Housing Preservation Grant money, which means we are going to be getting a little over $155,000. That's half the money allocated to the state in this funding round. And then we also got a match of $20,000 from CenterPoint Energy Foundation. So we're going to be, for sure, putting through at least $175,000 more through home repair grants in the coming year to 2 years.
And I know Tom's not here tonight, but I really want to echo Emily's thoughts about how important he's been coming on the team. These federal grants aren't easy. There's a reason why we can get half the money in the state, and it's because we've got a team that can pursue those opportunities. And again, that's a privilege in a community of any size, but especially in a community of this size. I talk a lot about the clients because this isn't a top-down program. We ask a lot of our clients, and our clients either pay that back through our program or they pay it back like Jim Zaner does through the work that he does here in the community, and so many others that have stories very similar to his. Piggybacking on the point that the challenge that I asked just a moment ago, I wanted to highlight Cheryl Thomas, a homeowner who is a Dayton homeowner who's working to call Yellow Springs home as we work to find her the right opportunity. In the meantime, we worked with one of the grants that we mentioned earlier on Ms. Thomas's current home. We maxed out that program as we have a couple years in a row. We kept putting applications together, maybe in case the hope rate or the threshold raised. That's where that $400,000 came from. That was $200,000 when we thought we were done. My phone kept ringing. We kept putting together applications. I said, "Where did you hear about us?" I heard about it from a woman at my church. She said to give you a call. And that goes a long way. Ms. Thomas is responsible for well over $100,000 that we brought back to this So I have talked way longer than I know anyone cares to hear. So, Ms. Thomas, can you come up and just share a little bit briefly about your experience?
Hello, I wasn't expecting this. Okay, here's what has been happening to me. I've been in my house for 48 years. 2 years ago, well, when I would come home and I would look at the house and I go, oh God, I come to this house, it looks like this, you know, and you would feel down and out, depressed and everything. So I've been wanting to move, been wanting to come to Yellow Springs, because to me this is God's country. So what I would do would be to go online. I went on Google to pull up affordable housing. You can't trust everything that you see on the internet. You can't trust everybody that you talk to. So what I ended up doing was I found the Home Inc. And I kept looking and scrolling and seeing what it had to offer. Some kind of way, I got Chris's number and been talking to Chris ever since. And he had been guiding me, and I actually trust him. You know, and that takes a lot to be able to trust somebody nowadays. And we would always talk. I hear that voice. and this is the first time I ever met Chris. And I said, well, is that Chris? And then when I heard it, I said, that's him. So, yeah, he has been a godsend. He has helped me walked through everything. He said, hey, if you have any problems, give me a call. And he didn't care when it was, and I would call him. So I want to thank Chris for helping me with that. And then when he said, hey, well, we got some extra money. So I found some of my church members that really needed. One lady, she has a muscular dystrophy, and she needed help with her house. And it was a godsend. You know, Chris, you know, and the organization was able to help her do some things at her house. I met a perfect, good contractor. And I've been with him ever since. It's a good guy, you know. Like I say, you can't trust everybody. But I can trust the contractor, I trust Chris, and hopefully, you know, that we can, you know, do more work together. That's it.
I'll just wrap up by reiterating that challenge because, like Cheryl said, that trust. When I get a home buyer application and I look at the bottom and it says, how did you hear about our program? When I see homeowner, another homeowner in the program, board member, staff member, community member, half my job's done. That trust is built in because they've heard about these things from you and they know that they can trust on me. And that, I can't tell you how much easier that makes my job. And when my job gets a little bit easier, that means we can help more people. So I look forward to working with all of you in the next coming year as we work to create the growth exponentially that we've worked so hard for over the years. Thank you so much.
That was nice. So we actually didn't have any clients queued up to speak, and we didn't know you were coming, and here you are. So that was a nice spontaneous moment. And can we just give it up for Chris one more time? And we have another person. Chris is the real deal. Oh, here's the board member, David Scott.
I have to testify. I have to testify to that guy. It's incredible that he's managed to deal with that bureaucracy of that stuff we don't want to deal with, and he's honest with us. And what he has done, my house is now much better than it was when I moved in. And when I die, it will go to somebody else as a much better house within the homemade family. And it's because of homemade, the 12 because that.
It's going to be, I'll try to make it short. I've been divorced since 2000, and I promised myself that I work so hard, and that I'm not going to go into a relationship, that I focus everything on my children and work, because I want to put a roof over my children and food for my table, but not without a guy to do that for me. So I work really, really hard to raise my children. Needless to say, I don't have extra money for my house, which is a rundown house on Fairfield Pike. And so, year after year, my home insurance keeps going up. Until finally, it's like, this is outrageous. So I asked another home insurance company, can you please figure this out for me? And 2 weeks later, she said, I'm sorry, I just got back because nobody wants to insure your house because your roof is very old. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have money for roof, nor do I have savings. And then I got a call from Chris. I heard you need a roof. I said yes. So I have a nice roof in my old house. That I am so grateful. And then I thought, oh, my roof is very beautiful, but my side is very, very crummy. Doesn't match the rest of my house. And so I was able to get a loan enough to make my house look like the prettiest flower on Fairfield Pike because the color is orange.
All right, and anybody else? Carlos, anybody? Carlos is waving, okay. Well, that was nice, Chris is the real deal, I keep saying it. Okay, so the other thing that we're just gonna briefly touch on is the coalition work that we've been doing. It was founded in 2019, 2019, and a lot of the folks that are part of this coalition are here. If you want to just like wave your hand, there we go. And Kanetta, do you want to come just say anything? Come on. All right, Kanetta really guided the development of the coalition. Alex Scott is now the convener. So our mission is to support diverse communities in Yellow Springs by identifying and removing barriers to opportunity and success. That's a container of a lot of different things can come into, but it's really important to look beyond housing. All right, so the Cascades is a project that we have been working on in one way or another since 2011. Before that, the Friends Care community was working on it. And again, this is one more of those testaments to Yellow Springs and the support that we get, because you have made it possible for us to persist, to be persistent, to be unflagging in our enthusiasm, because we really do have a vision. And I'm not going to go into this slide, but it does take a lot to get a project off the ground. It's very complicated. It's kind of impossible. It's confounding because one input changes all the other inputs, and they all have to move forward together. And you need a lot of money, and you need land and zoning. And so it really is the sum of a lot of different parts that makes projects happen. And that's why the land trust model, first of all, is so precious, because we know that this isn't just a 15-year thing, or a 5-year thing, or a 30-year thing. This is a generational thing, and that matters. But it's also because of the support from the village, I see Johnny, Brian, Kevin, probably other people from the village right here. Mayor Pam, I can't see everybody, but what? I'm sorry?
Elisa's here.
Oh, and Elisa, yes. So we're just very grateful to the village, because really there wouldn't be Homemade without the support. And Mayor Pam, yes. From the support of the village. And so you are by far our most important partner, and we are very appreciative, because we wouldn't really be here without you. We also wouldn't be here without the generosity and dedication and commitment and sweat and hours and expertise and enthusiasm and belief from the residents of Yellow Springs. So this is, the sustained effort is really because of you. Oh, and then I just wanted to show you how this is phased. So it's going to be a 32-unit project, and that will result in 22 affordable senior rentals and 10 affordable for-sale townhomes that will be available to families and seniors. And this is phase 1, which is three buildings in this corner. And so our biggest accomplishment last year was that we completed fundraising for this project. And as you can see, our Right Credit Union permanent loan is 5% of the total development cost. Why is it only 5%? Because we have to make sure that these things stay affordable, that we can provide good property management, that we're putting money into reserves, and that we have a cash flow, and that rents are going to be within reach for people of seniors of low to moderate income and folks on fixed incomes. So this in and of itself is something that you should all be proud of because you've helped us get to this point. I also have to thank the Senior Housing Working Group. Susan Stiles is here, who has been involved with this. They were meeting. Back in 2011, they were meeting. They picked out the site next to the fire station and said, this is the site we want for senior housing. And they informed every step of the way, and we are so grateful for their enthusiasm and sustained effort, despite going in for funding and not getting it once, twice, 3 times, having to move to another site. But they didn't give up, so we didn't give up. And our big announcement for those of you who weren't here is that we broke ground yesterday. So this is like a long time in the making, and we can't even begin to tell you how excited we are. We also found out the day before yesterday that we're winning this award, which is really cool. So come and tell us about it.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Snedeker, and I'm the Director of Regional Development from the Advocates for Basic Legal Equality. And we partner with the Legal Aid of Western Ohio and the Greater Dayton Volunteer Lawyers Project, where we actually actively look at other organizations that have made a difference in the communities they serve. And we had the pleasure of being able to say that Home Inc. has been awarded the 2024 Pat Rousseau Community Advocacy Award and will be presented this award on November 7th. And we are so thrilled that they were nominated because of the good work that you've been doing over the past 25 years. I will say our selection committee looked at the applications, and there were 5 in the mix, and said, hands down, this is the organization we need to recognize because of the great impact that you've done and the example that you are setting for the communities surrounding Dayton to show how much and how valuable your community advocacy has been in affecting people's lives. So thank you so much for having me this evening to be able to share it. We are excited to have you and all of your friends come join us on November 7th. And the proceeds from this event go to providing legal services to communities like yours that need a hand when you're facing a land trust issue and legal issues, or that person who's down the street from you who has some kind of a civil issue, such as going through a divorce, needing a protection order, needing to be able to access good education for their child where they may be having an issue. We provide all of those services at no charge to the client, and we are able to help them get back on their feet by giving them a hand up. So that is where the proceeds from the event go. I am greatly touched by the number of great testimonials you've shared tonight and what an impact you have, and I cannot imagine how great the next 25 years are going to be.
What she didn't say is that the Advocates for Basic Legal Equality has been supporting Home Inc. And this has been particular to Cascades Project. Michael Laudenslager is our volunteer attorney, well, volunteered for us from our perspective. And he's just been amazing. We actually sometimes refer to him as manna from heaven because he came at just the right time with just what we needed to be able to do some pretty complicated stuff. So the other thing, you called me Wednesday afternoon to tell me about this, and then you said, and the film crew's coming tomorrow, so we'll have a video to share with you after spending several hours together, and that should be pretty exciting too. Yeah.
And any of the people
so much.
You are welcome.
So this is the last slide in my part of this. And I just wanted to again say that our mission is about so much more than housing. It is about strengthening the fabric of our community, which is something that I think everybody who's standing here can feel. Don't you feel that? Right here, right now. I mean, hearing folks get up and talk about Chris kind of did me in, I'm not gonna lie. But, so I just want to close in saying that Yellow Springs has always embraced a utopian vision. I don't know if you all know that Yellow Springs was founded by a group of Owenites from New Harmony, Indiana, who came to settle Yellow Springs to be an ideal community. And then the group broke up shortly after that due to internal conflict. A blueprint for the future. No, I'm just kidding. But so we've always embraced this utopian ideal, and while we fall short, there's actually real meaning in that attempt. Our work, we are working to build the beloved community right here in Yellow Springs. So everything that we do is rooted in and led by you, the community. We strengthen our collective fabric not only through lasting affordable housing and client-first programs, but through gatherings like these, through volunteering, through service, through conversations, and most importantly, through connection. So we are striving to build this vision of a beloved and inclusive community from the inside out. And that starts here. So you are part of this vision. You're participating actively in it just by being here. And we are so grateful to see you and for your support. And so everything we do, every home repair grant, every client call is, and I can really genuinely say this, an act of love. And we love that we're working on not just today, but a legacy of community for the future. So thank you. That's all. I think Alex is up next.
Yeah, everybody. I'll make this pretty quick. So most of you probably know that we held a community information session on July 16th. If you were not able to attend that, there is a video of it on our website, just in general to provide information about Yellow Springs Home Week, answer some questions that are out there in the community. But one thing we did during that event is we held a visioning exercise with people in attendance. So we asked people to basically visualize a future in which Yellow Springs Home Week has achieved its mission of strengthening community and diversity, and through permanently affordable housing in Yellow Springs. We asked people to envision what this Yellow Springs would be like, what it would smell like, what you would hear, what you would feel, what you would see. And we collected the results. We found that there were a few top categories that stuck out, showing us what our community values the most. The top 3 categories were diversity, especially age and racial diversity, connection, and a strong and equitable economy. Safety and peace was also another big one that jumped out to us reading those 3, but we were certainly not surprised to see diversity, but connection was really a pleasant surprise. Some of the most common things that people talked about were children, kids, babies, it was mentioned so many times, children, young adults, teenagers, intergenerational housing and interaction, more racial and economic diversity, accessibility, especially downtown, more housing, especially safe, affordable rentals, and housing affordable to people of all levels of income. People talked about the level of safety and connectedness that we enjoy today, and continuing that and even enhancing it. And people talked about hearing music, laughter on the streets, seeing art, parties, people getting together, people connecting with each other, the smell of food, and a place where everyone has what they need to thrive. So from this, what we realized is that when we're considering future projects, programs, initiatives, things like that, we need to really pay attention to how does this affect diversity, especially in terms of racial and economic diversity? How does this affect connectedness and community connectedness? And how does it affect how does it contribute to a strong and equitable local economy? So we want to use those ideas to inform our future decisions, but what I'm doing here tonight is we want to reflect that back to you and ask, did we miss anything? So you should all have some pens and index cards at your tables. And, oh, I need to switch the slide so you can see the categories. Oh, okay, no worries. I'll repeat those categories, but basically, I just want to know, is there anything you would add? Are there any concerns you have? Are there any suggestions? Let us know what you think, and write that down, and you can leave it at the table on the front on your way out later. But basically, the categories, again, is just diversity, connectedness, and a strong and equitable economy, as well as safety and peace. So if there's anything you want to share about those topics or anything that we missed, please let us know on those cards. Thank you.
We also have a couple of upcoming events. We're getting very close to the end, I promise. That's okay. Stay tuned for a series, Salon on Affordable Housing Topics. April Wolford is our fundraising chair, has put these together. She's not here tonight, and so we're very limited in how we can talk about these. But they're going to be magical, intimate, beautiful evenings where we talk about really important topics around a shared meal. So stay tuned for that.
All right. And then what I can talk about is Saturday, September 28th is our adult homecoming. This is the third one we've done. Adult prom was a beloved event in the village, and we decided to bring it back. So this year's theme is 80s. Dress how you want, formal, casual, on theme, or however you feel comfortable. Come join us. It's at the Glen Helen Play Building, 7:30 to 10:30. Tickets are on sale. Early bird prices, it's cheaper than it even will be pre-sale online right now until the 31st. So that info is on our website, and we hope to see you there. And then, Artie? Yes. Wonderful.
Please hold your applause. One second. Hi, I'm back. Billy Collins, the poet laureate, said that the week before the introduction of a book of poetry is known as the calm before the calm. We have a rough draft of a book, a commemoration of the 25th anniversary of Home Inc. It's called Welcome Home. There's a copy for everybody at the front desk. Suggested $5, but it's more important that you take one. What I'd like you to do, please, is to take this book of poetry, which has been written by residents, people who love Yellow Springs, friends, some people in the room here. And they're all about home. And you might say, why a book of poetry? When all the important words you've heard about affordable housing have already been spoken. Maybe there's a question about why do people need a roof over their heads? Well, they need it for the shelter, and they need it to have their loved ones with them, and they need it for safety and delight. And they need it for a chance at happiness, a chance at expressing their creative souls. Eric Weiner of NPR traveled the world reporting for NPR. And while he was making different stops for different stories, he would research the level of happiness of different places. He measured it through a variety of metrics, and one thing he found was that Iceland was the happiest place on earth. Now, he didn't know exactly why, though he had some theories, but he did point out that 90% of Icelanders write poetry. He also drank a lot, it's really dark, but what I'd like to recommend is that what we have for you today is a rough draft. It's not finished. We're going to produce an expanded version of this, which will be the real thing, in time for a poetry reading on November 14th at the Emporium. But until then, what I would ask is that anyone who hasn't already written a poem or a little piece of prose to please send it to Alex Link. Alex and I are the co-editors of this book, and we'll build the book so it's a little bit thicker. It's really essential that it's thicker because it has to be thicker for us to be able to write on the spine of the book. That's our artistic vision at this point. That concludes my formal presentation. Thank you so much. Please take one on your way out.
Before we get to the part of the annual meeting that everybody's always looking forward to, where we talk about the raffle prizes, we want to take a moment to embarrass and honor someone who is celebrating a special milestone this year. Emily Seibel took the baton from Mary Ann 15 years ago and became Home Inc.'s executive director. In that time, Home Inc. has grown from a small and impressive organization that did a lot of amazing work, with a lot of dedicated volunteers, to become a much more impressive and impactful organization with 4 full-time staff, and we've all met before tonight and tonight, multiple part-time staff, a dedicated board, and an even broader base of community volunteers and supporters. The organization has more than doubled its housing portfolio. It has vastly expanded the program and services it offers to the community. And under Emily's leadership, the organization has, as Emily mentioned, garnered a lot of attention, and as Jennifer mentioned, garnered a lot of attention as a best practice and a model organization for a many number of reasons, but in particular as a community land trust. Folks are looking at us as best practice, as a model that they want to replicate. Good luck doing that, but we are willing to help you do that. So those of you who were at yesterday's groundbreaking heard a lot of testimonials about Emily's passion and her dedication, her ability to communicate and advocate for the mission of this organization. And I've had the experience, the good fortune of being able to see that and work alongside Emily personally for the last 8 years during my board service. And let's celebrate Emily as she deserves it. Before we do that, I'm going to hand over the mic to Susan.
So first I want to say, I want to use a term from Emily. Emily is the real deal. I've known Emily for her entire career at Yellow Springs Home Inc. And what I first saw in her was her enthusiasm, her commitment to the mission, her authenticity, her brightness, her humbleness, and might I add, her sweetness. She was confident that if she worked hard, she'd be able to do the job. She knew she had a lot to learn. So over the years, there were tears, there was laughter, and I'm not going to tell any bad stories. I won't say that. But she knew how to seek support. She would go to the people who could help her get through it and strive for better. She sought out education so that she could do the best job that she could do. She always honors us. She listens to us. She sees us. She understands us. It was the most brilliant decision the board made to hire Emily. She is a statewide and a national community land trust leader. I want to congratulate her for her 15 years, and I hope that we have at least 15 more.
So Emily, in honor of your 15th anniversary, we have a little gift for you. This is on behalf of the Home Inc. staff and board. We just wanted to give you a token of appreciation for your compassion, your passion, your intelligence, your eloquence, and all of the heart and beauty that you put into your work at Homemade, that you put into your life and into the community and the world. Thank you. Congratulations for 15 years, and I want to let Angie talk about it.
So, what an honor to be asked to be a part of this, Emily. Also, what a joy to make a work of art while thinking about Emily and everything I've learned from you, and how joyful it is to work with you. Everyone can do it. Like already encouraging you to write poetry. You can also make art and think about Emily. So Alex talked to the board and staff, and we wanted to make something that acknowledged her contribution, but also just captured peace and serenity and home for her, something for her to hang in her home or in her home office, or her office, which is also a home. So this says in the middle, congratulations, Emily Seipel, on 15 years of service. These are hamsas, so in Middle Eastern culture, this is a symbol of peace and calm. A lot of people hang it at the entrance to their home to welcome back into their home and to show it to everyone who comes into their home. Hamsa also means 5 in Arabic, so there are 3 for your 15 years.
You've heard enough from me already, but this really is very touching. So thank you. And like half the people in here have been a mentor to me, so I feel very grateful. And Susan upstairs.